Hello, everyone. This is Gwydion, and today I'm going to try to do a run through of Pericle Labyrinth, which is the new version of Pericle that was just released from Kickstarter. I was a backer of both the original Pericle Gathering Darkness, which is a full campaign, as well as Pericle Labyrinth, which is really just kind of a continuous run through a ever-changing dungeon is the best way I can describe it. So this is not really a tutorial since I'm learning this, so I'm not trying to tell you everything I'm doing is accurate. In fact, I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes, but I just haven't seen any playthroughs, so I thought I could at least show you all how it plays. I'm going to do this fully digital, and I'm going to show you where some of the tools are first, and I'll put timestamps in the video, so if you don't want to hear any of this, just want to watch the play, you can do that as well. So first things first, I'm going to be using 3D dice, and I do have a set of Pericle dice that I created that you can grab for free on 3D dice if you want to roll digitally. So I'll be using those dice during the stream. I'll be actually taking the maps out of Pericle Labyrinth, and I'll pause the video so you don't have to watch me do all this. But in order to be able to share the screen with you, since normally this is done with the cardboard fold-out maps, and it's all kind of physical, I guess, materials. And I want to show that to you online. So I'm going to be downloading and saving the images into Owlbear Radio just so you can see what I'm doing. And hopefully this works well. I'll try to pause a lot so it's just not as hopefully super jumpy. So anyway, with that, let's get into this a little bit. I'm going to start by, again, showing you some of the resources. So when you first load Pericle Labyrinth, you're going to get the main menu here. So I'm going to click on More because there have been a lot of questions that I've seen on some of the forums. But when you click on More, you'll see digital resources, FAQ, errata, pre-generated heroes. Pre-generated heroes are from the first Pericle Gathering Darkness game, but you can use those, and that's what I'm going to be using. The digital resources, I'll click on this for a second. So you'll have like the updated rulebook that you can grab, the hero handbook that you can grab, some information on just the mundane weapons, armor, and shields. This sheet, since a lot of people I think there's some confusion on how do you calculate your hero's power for Labyrinth runs. And the way I've done this and used that sheet, if you use the final pre-gens from the original game, so I think there's 3 sheets for each pre-gen. There's a 1, 2, and a 3, and I'll be showing those to you. But I think the way I've read this, you can grab the 3rd version, the final version of that pre-gen to do your initial run through the labyrinth if you want, and assume that's a brand new character. Play Golem companion sheet. So what that does is, in general, you're supposed to use 3 to 4 heroes, as I understand it, going through Labyrinth. But I'm going to use 2, and then I'm going to use the Clay Golem, which is more of like just a pure like fighter tanky kind of guy. So I'm going to see how that works, and that'll be my 3rd, so I don't have to worry about a lot of additional information on that 3rd. And I think I grabbed a character sheet for him, and then there's an editable hero sheet for a PDF resource as well. All right, let's get out of this. Regenerate heroes already talked about. So again, some FAQ and errata, and let's go back to the main menu. So I'm going to turn on the music. So if I click on this down arrow, I can uncheck, and I don't think it'll be too loud. But if I notice it getting too loud, I'll try to turn that down just a touch. So yeah, hopefully that's not super loud. All right. Okay, so let's create a new party. I just want to start a new party. I'm going to say, RPG frequency stream 1. And this, I don't think I'll have any initiative bonuses. Let me look at my characters and I can show you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Amira Archer. So again, the 3rd version, so the final version. And then I'll be using Bearwin, which is the wizard. And then finally, that's a little loud. Turn it down a little more. Finally, I'll be using the Clay Golem. I think there is a sheet for him. So I might have to pause the video and grab a PDF. In fact, I'm going to look for that for a second. All right, sorry about that. So for the clay golem, I'm just going to be using the physical sheet rather than try to put in a digital sheet for the golem. That's going to be easier. So let's just keep going here. I'm going to do a small, say dungeon size. You can change this. I'm going to do small, difficulty easy for now. Labyrinth runs. This is going to be my first, so I'll say 0. Hero name, I'm going to start with Amira and Berwyn, as I showed you, and then this will be the golem. And you can see there are new. You might recognize if you own Gathering Darkness a lot of the heroes that are in here that are pre-gens. The new ones, Radic, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and Opus, I believe. Those two come with the new Pericle Labyrinth. So, but I'm just going to use these. You can see this information populates, and I'm just going to start with 3 and see how that works. So let's hit start. And it takes a minute to load. So we'll let that load for the moment. And once it loads, then we will jump into the game. I like this golem idea. So there's a couple other parties I've started with, but we're going to use the RPG frequency stream and jump in. So I will show the video. So let's go ahead and listen to the video. A little more of a trailer, so we will continue from here.
You are escorted to a pavilion with carved stone pillars. An iron grate is set into the floor. The scent of mildew and rot seeps from the darkness beyond. 2 guards stand watch. Pray while you still can, a guard grunts as he bends to unlock the grate. There are many winding paths through the labyrinth, but only one way out. Now, hurry up. I don't want anything escaping.
All right, so I'm going to try to be quiet when those come on. I know the sound may be a little bit lower than it should be, but I'm trying to balance the music and the voice. So let's hit continue. So, and I'm going to read when it doesn't have the voiceover. I'm going to read myself. So the guard lights a torch and hands it to you. May Sindor give you strength. STS grants you luck. Inquiry take you quickly if you fail. With that, the guard locks the door behind you and you're left standing in the darkness. If you have no alternate source of light, one hero must carry the torch, which requires 1 free hand. If you choose not to have a light source, refer to the rulebook for rules on darkness. I'm not sure if this is legit, but I'm going to probably have Berwyn maybe start with having a torch in his left hand and just not worry about it from there. The cool image. You come to a Wight intersection, each passage swallowed by darkness. The silence is broken only by the hollow tap-tap of your footstep. A whisper of a breeze seems to emanate from the inky path to the left. So my first decision here, I can go left, I can go right, or if I return the way I came, I don't think I can because I think I have to make it through the run of the labyrinth, and I don't think you can just turn around and leave. So there's a whisper of a breeze to the left, inky path to the left. I'm gonna go right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go right. Let's see what's on the right. Okay, so this is the first map. So, oh gosh, looks like I'm facing a Wight. I don't know how challenging that's gonna be, but that looks scary. So if I click on this, it shows the different, I guess, obstacles and things that are in the maps. This looks like an interesting map. So what I'm gonna do for a moment is get this set up and pause the video quickly, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the map set up here in the top right. So I've got the Wight. I just put him in one of the squares to the right. And I have put my heroes here. I've started the Golem up front. I'm going to put Berwyn at the top and Amira at the bottom. So let's keep looking at the scenario details. You do find yourself in a chamber illuminated by bubbling pools of lava. I'm not hearing any sound right now. Might be because I'm looking at this. So basically defeat the enemies. That's the strategy. Okay. So exit setup. Let's see if this is on. Yeah, I don't. Well, there we go.
The guard lights a torch and hands it to you. May Cinder give you strength, Estus grant you luck, and Chiare take you quickly if you fall. With that, the guard locks the door behind you and you're left standing in the darkness. If you have no alternate source of light, one hero must carry the torch, which requires one free hand. If you choose not to have a light source, refer to the rulebook for rules on darkness.
Okay. So we're going to start this. You can see the Wight is already up here. I might make that just a little bit bigger font-wise. About that. We'll see how that works. Yeah, it keeps... I don't know if this is a mistake, but...
The guard lights a torch.
Yeah, I'm just going to pause that. I guess that there's no sound other than that for combat or anything for now, I think. Okay. So I'm going to click on Roll Initiative, and you don't see all of the text because I have my screen over it, but it does say for the rest of the turns, Roll Master will roll initiative. So let's roll initiative. And enemies have won the initiative check and move first in the action phase. If an enemy and a hero have the same AD, the enemies will act first. Press the arrow button next to the turn number to move to the movement phase. So let's do that. And this tells me over here, Lore Master is telling me that the Wight is going to move up to 5 hexes to embattle the closest hero. Remember to select the embattled condition. So let me go to the owlbear site. He's going to move up to 5 and try to embattle the nearest hero. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for now, I'm not really sure how I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. But I think what I'm going to do, I'll keep messing with the map to hopefully make this look good. I'm going to say the W is going to reference his facing. So wherever the W is, that's like, and yeah, I guess the W and this arrow here. So like maybe his hand. I'll figure it out. That might be a little bit tricky. But for now, he's moved 5 and he can't embattle anybody at this point. So let's keep going. Heroes move. So I think I'm going to go ahead, and I don't think the golem can defend, but I'm going to use him as a little bit of a punching bag until I learn how best to use him. So let's go back to the map, and we're going to move. The golem can move 4, or no, he has a might of 4. He has a movement of 5. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't say, let me look at the, yeah, I'm going to go back for a second. I'm looking for the setup again. It doesn't say initial map details. I guess we don't want to step in the pools of lava, but it doesn't say anything else about that. So I assume that'll be some cover. But I don't know. We'll have to get to that, I guess. Maybe not. Usually it tells you if that's cover. So the heroes move. So I've got one hero moved. Do I need to? Don't want to do that yet. We're still in the move phase for the heroes. All right. So Bearwin, I'm going to see if I can get a shot up here. 1, and Bearwin has a movement of 6. You can see down here. I know that's, maybe I should make this PDF viewer above Owlbear Rodeo. Do that so this doesn't do this again. Sorry. Bear with me. There we go. So Bearwin has a movement of 6. So let's see what Amira does. Amira has a movement of 5. You can see down here. All right. So Bearwin's going to move 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to move. Oh, but he can't shoot. I want to get ahead of this. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm trying to do is see if like he moves here to embattle. I think might have partial cover here. It doesn't really say what these are. Cover. If they're lava pits, maybe they're not, but you can push somebody in it. It doesn't say. So anyway, let's just keep going. And we're going to do a Mira. We're going to go. She does have something. She can take her full movement and still attack. Whereas Bearwin, I'm going to have to look again. I know for a ranged weapon, I don't know that he's going to be able to do a spell, but I have these little sheets that are the cheat sheet from the game. So I'll look at that for Bearwin, because Bearwin did a full move, but she can move. Of course, I got my golem right in the way. And I'm going to move her here 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Move her up one more, right there. All right, that's what we're going to do for the moment. You can see how that map is playing out, and then we're going to move. Okay, so you can see if you can see a little bit of the Pericle app up here, and the Wight has an AD of 2 and Amira is 2, but the enemies go first if their AD is the same as the hero. So the Wight is going to get to go, and let's see, Paralyzing Claws of the Wight and Blight's Embrace. We've already moved. Why is this? No. Wight's turn to act. I guess that's what he does. Can he move twice? I don't know. It says that's what he does. So let's just assume that's correct. And let's move. So let me go back to the map. And he's going to move 5. So he's going to move right there, which is what I expected. Now he's going to become embattled, and the golem is down. So let's go back to the app. We're going to click on embattled. And let me pull that.
And hands it.
No, that's just going to keep. Thought it might have some combat music. All right, so the Wight has embattled the closest hero. So we're going to keep moving. So now it's Amira. So let's go back to Amira. And Amira has a line of sight with the golem in the middle. And I'm going to see if it says anything here with cover. One line passes through an obstruction. But if I remember right, I could hit my hero, I think, if I miss. I'm going to look this up, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pause the stream so there's no delay here. Okay, this might not be the smartest thing, but because it's a golem, and I wonder if in the future I could have had, you know what? I wonder if I could do this. In the future, I might have been able to do a pivot with a golem. And I think some people house rules that instead, I'll go back to the app here. Yeah, instead of having Amira go, maybe have the golem go, but I'm just going to play as written. So let's just keep going. And I do get 2 shots with the bow with an AD of 2, but the Wight is going to get into defense die. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the attack and the defense die so we can do those together. I'm going to have to show that above, but that is a torch. So it's a success, but he gets +1 armor. So I need to make these to where you can see them. So I'm going to pull the results up to the top, I think. Yep, so that's +1 armor. And then I'm going to pull the dice animation up to the top as well. Sorry, I'm just getting this to where okay. So that was a hit, but he gets +1 armor. So let's see what that does. She's going to roll her damage since the attack got through. So she does her damage on that, I believe, is just a straight up D6. Yes, 1d6. So let's roll the damage. He got a 4, so I know that he gets +1 armor. So he gets a 3, but let's see if he has any other armor. So I'm looking here. If you can see down here, he's got a might of 2, dex of 2, knowledge 1, AD 2, armor none. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So that does 3 damage. So the Wight's down to 12. I'm going to push my luck and go ahead and do a second shot at the Wight from Amira. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the attack die, the defense die. Yeah, let's just start with that and see how this goes. All right, so blank. So I got a blank, which means that nothing happens. So that's actually good, even though that sound is tied to the blank. So nothing happens on the defense, but I got a 2, and her AD is 2. So that means that I hit. So she does, again, up to 6 points of damage. Oh my, 1. All right, but a decent, still not a bad. Didn't hit the golem and was able to do some decent damage. So that's not a bad turn. So let's keep going. Bearwind. So I am going to look at Bearwind because once you move, I want to see if my cheat sheet tells me anything. So let's see, movement. If you move 2 or more hex, Or if you join okay, consequences. You can't attack with a ranged weapon. I can't cast. So I think for now, I should have, if I was going to defend, I would have already had to declare it. So I think I kind of have to forfeit the move for Berwyn. So not ideal. I didn't really think about that, but not much I can do about it. So let's go back to Lore Master. Berwyn goes, and now I have the Golem. So the Golem, I'm looking on my sheet here. The Golem basically just does a straight up pummel attack. His AD is 0. So let's go back to the map to show you. So he is going to just swing away. So, but the Wight does not have any defense on this one. So we're just going to do a straight up roll. Critical success. Awesome. So a crit success on a pummel. I don't know what that, it looks like the baseline. Okay, I'm reading his sheet. At baseline, golems have no crit effect. So it does hit, and he does do, his damage is a straight up 1d6. So, and there's no armor from the Wight. So it does 3 damage. So not bad. We're going to go back here, and we're going to go 3 damage. So he's down to 5, the Wight, and we're going to move. So turn 2. Enemies have won the initiative and move first. So we're going to head and move. So the enemy does not move. Okay. Heroes move action. So let's determine how we want to kind of set up flanking or whatever we want to do here. We're going to move. So I want to keep the Wight. So if I only move 1 or 2 hexes, or 1 hex, Berwyn can move here, and then he can still attack. So I'm going to do that. And Amira, remember, she can move her full move and still attack. So I think what I'm going to do here is she can move 5. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, straight there. And then I don't need to pivot for the Golem because the Golem can just, the Golem's not in the way. At least I get a little confused. That actually still might be in the way. Yeah, because I think I'm supposed to use the outside of this hex to the Wight. So I think technically the Golem will still be in the way. And I can't move him around there because I wonder if, I guess what I could do is move Amira here. And it doesn't say these provide cover. So if it doesn't, I don't think they do. And I'm going to rule it that way. So both of these would be, it looks like those are just more like lava pits. That's how I'm going to play it because it doesn't say those are obstacles. So that might be wrong, but I'll check that on the Discord later. All right, so we're going to do that. And now we're going to move back to action. To the Wight. Oof. This isn't good. Paralyzing Claws, 82, 2d4. Priority. Stunned hero. There are no stunned heroes. We'll enter a grapple, but there is no stunned hero. So 2 random hero. So if successful, so what is he? Let me just read this for a second. So what I don't know here, I guess it doesn't say stunned hero will grapple. He's not stunned. So random hero is the second priority, and it does say paralyzing claws. And there's 2 options here. So I think it's saying that it's a random hero, and it just does the paralyzing claws. If successful after damage, Wight makes an opposed might check against their target. Wight may immediately make a bite. Wow, geez, this is brutal. Well, let's start with the random hero, I think. And we're going to do the paralyzing claws, which is, I think, AD 2. Yeah, so let's start with that. So he's going to do against the Golem. He's going to roll. And he rolls a 2. So unfortunately, there's no other defense or armor or anything for the Golem. So that does hit. So let's look at this again. When a Wight successfully hits, which it did, it immediately performs an opposed might check against the target. The Wight succeeds in this check. The foe is stunned. Let's start with the opposed check. Opposed might check. So I'm going to roll for the Wight. His might is 2. So this is for the Wight. 3. So he fails. So I'm going to roll for the... Yeah, I don't... That's a success. So I'm pretty sure that just means that that fails outright. But what I missed here is it says if successful after the damage. So he didn't succeed. And I think because he didn't succeed, he doesn't get to do this Blight's Embrace, but he does get to do the 2d4 damage. So we're gonna use like a dodecahedron, which looks like a d12, but we're gonna roll 2 of these for his 2d4. Ooh, 6 points of damage. Ouch. All right, so we're gonna go back to the character sheets here for the clay golem. Actually, I don't have that. I'm going to use a die that I have on the golem on the physical sheet. So he's going down from 10 to 6. Or no, sorry, 10 to 4. Ooh, that's brutal. And I'm going to be playing where they don't die outright. I forget the name of that, but so I can revive him hopefully after if I need to. So, all right, that's it. The Wight's done. We're going to go to Amira. So Amira gets to go next. So let's look at the map and see where we are. So again, I'm going to say that Amira has a clean line of sight since this didn't reference cover. So let's go for Amira, her first attack. 2. So again, she has a AD of 2, so that hits, straight up hit, and it does 3 points of damage. So let's tick that off. Down to 2 for the Wight now. She gets a double shot. So she's going to shoot one more time. And that's a straight up success. And a 6. And she puts the Wight down. I think that could have gone so much worse. But let's take the map off so you don't see that anymore. And let's read what happens here. And we're just going to say this is a straight up victory. You'd do a mixed victory if one of your heroes went down. Nobody went down. Do victory. So congrats. Every member of your party is awarded 1 XP. So we will put that on each of our sheet. And for I don't think for your golem, what you do is you have all these abilities that will take XP to unlock. So you can essentially check one of these and for your 1 XP. So I'm looking at Arcane Reconstitution. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We can explain what that is later, but I'm just going to check that on the sheet. And each hero may conduct a rest, which allows them to recover 1 exhaustion. Nobody got an exhaustion because Berwyn wasn't able to get off a spell yet. So there's no exhaustion. You may use disciplines, healer, and what have you. So the only one that's hurt is the golem. And so let's go ahead and award our XP. So we're going to go. So this one, yeah, this shows the sheet for the golem. And it shows, yeah, you can't quite see the sheet, but that's all right. Let's go to Amira. Let's go to her XP, which is here. And that is 1. I must have forgotten, so I'm just going to put Amira here. And this should be XP here. And then Berwyn, 1. And I'll just say Berwyn again up here. Okay. So that's that. And the door on the opposite wall is unlocked. The lava pools contain nothing of interest. Enemy possessions, so there was nothing that the Wight had. Open chest. I didn't know there was a chest here. I didn't see that. But of course I want to open the chest. Open chest. All right. So you're going to place the chest within 3 hexes of where the enemy started. And you may place the chest where you wish, but it must be placed so that all hexes adjacent to the hex are empty in the chest. So give me a second to set that up. All right, let's read this a bit. Place the chest token on the map. I've done that. And so all the hexes adjacent to the chests are empty. So I did move them around a little bit. So let's keep reading this. Heroes that wish to search the chest for Trask must be adjacent to the chest. The hero that will open the chest must be adjacent. Okay. All heroes and allies may move in any order. So we are moving. So let's do this. I don't know. I mean, the golem is hurting. So maybe we'll have Berwyn. No, let's have Amira. And she's going to move and do it over here. And I'm going to move like Berwyn up there. and the golem over here. And yeah, let's have Amira try to open the chest. Let's see what happens, I guess. So they moved. So now they may act. So let's. Oh, so what I need to do. Okay, here we go. Search for traps. I'm not sure if she has the ability, but let's just figure it out. You can try. Hero adjacent may attempt one hard 80 -2 to determine if the chest is trapped. So let's go ahead and roll her. Shoot, I don't know why that is playing twice, but I'll figure out that later. But it's a critical failure. Nope. So I'm going to have her just open. Probably not a good idea, but she's going to open the chest. A pulse of heat radiates outward with a sudden ear-splitting crack. The chest erupts as if a miniature volcano has been unleashed. Molten fire, oh my god, bursts in all directions. The party is bombarded by shrapnel and flame. Heroes within 4 hexes take 1d6 damage, except for adjacent heroes suffer 2d6. Armor and shields protect. Roll and resolve all 4 continues. So Amira gets 2d6. So, oh wait, I don't want to see that yet. So let's resolve this first. She gets 2d6. Come on. Oh, thank God. 4. So let's go to her feet. And so instead of 12, she's going to go down to 8. And then both the Golem and Berwyn will get a 1d6. So we'll do this for the Golem. 4. And the Golem is down. So the Golem is down for the moment. I think I'll just put him to the side for a second. And let's see, Berwyn gets a 1d6, 3 points of damage. So we'll go back to Berwyn. He gets 3, so he's down to 9. So let's see what this gave us. Was it worth it? So purse containing 5 gold coins. So let's put that on a character sheet. And let's move it on to, I don't know, the wizard. So 5 gold coins. We'll put it down here, 5 GC. And then we will do Scroll of Inversus Minor. I'll have to look at that later. But that's throw your spell. If you success, you immediately change positions with the target. So you invert positions. Okay. So Inversus Minor. So let's go back. Let's go back to him, I think. Berwyn. Scroll of Inversus Minor. I want to say, shoot, I should have seen what that, I want to say that was 5, but maybe it was 3. I'll have to, I don't know if I can go back, but let's save this. Let's save this. I wonder if I can, I don't want to redo. Return to the scene of your, okay, great. Exit the room through the unlocked door. All right, so this would go in. I'm going to stop that. So this would get you to the next room, and I think typically there's 3, 4, or 5 rooms, but I'm going to stop it there. I think that's about 30 minutes, but hopefully that give you a little flavor for the combat, how this works, how the setup works, and yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it. I think I did okay, and I would have to. I think the Golem would come back with 1 HP to the way I'm playing it, because I'm playing it where there's not an outright death. So I think he would come back as long as not everyone dies to 1 HP. But I don't have a way to heal him, so until I can get out of the labyrinth, I'm in trouble. You know, I've got a little bit of damage from from Amira. I'm okay with Berwyn, but the next battle will be against the troll. So if you like this, thumbs up or subscribe. Let me know if you want to see another round, and we'll play this again next time. Thanks, everyone.